Hello everybody, it's Lynn here from LML Apothecary. I do hope that today finds you well. I thought I would do a little video today. I've received this in the mail today. It's the Wildwood Tarot, and I thought I'd do a little bit of an unboxing and just a bit of a quick go through of the deck and the guidebook, just for those of you that might be interested in that sort of thing. I have a number of earth-centered tarot and oracle decks, more oracle than tarot I should say, which is why I actually wanted to buy the Wildwood Tarot, and I think this will play in really nicely with those. I've got the two Celtic Tree oracle decks that I work quite closely with, which are very earth-centered type ones, and I thought that would play really well. They would all play really well together. So this is the Wildwood Tarot. Wherein Wisdom Resides. It's by Mark Ryan and John Matthews, and it was illustrated by Will Worthington. There's 78 cards, and the tarot guidebook is 160 pages. So let's have a look. The box is very sturdy, and I love the artwork. I just love earth-centered imagery. Really resonates with me very well. Okay, so within the box, the deck's there. It's been split into two, and it's quite a hefty little book to start off with, I must say. Let's have a look. So we've got a really good table of contents. One of the things that I look for, I should say, is a very detailed table of contents, especially if the cards aren't numbered. I very much find that you need to have a really good table of contents to be able to find the stuff that you're looking for. So we've got Return to the Green, so that's the preface or preface. We've got the Wildwood Song, so that's the preface or preface by John Matthews. The first one was by Mark Ryan. And then we've got Into the Green, an introduction by Mark Ryan. Then we've got The Path Through the Forest, so that's the cards and their meanings, both major and minor. And then we've got Finding Your Way, so how different ways of working with the cards by the looks of things, and then some other information towards the end. So I'm going to spend some time personally myself reading through this. Now, from what I could understand, this differs in some ways from the traditional tarot deck. It's sort of, some parts, from what I could understand from what I've seen online, some parts follow it, in broadly speaking, enough so you could sort of make the correlation between the standard tarot and this, and then there are other parts which are very different. But what I think this is, the wheel, it follows the Wheel of the Year, and I think, yeah, so this is the Wheel of the Year that it follows, and I personally, I follow, my spirituality is earth-based, and I follow the Year of the Wheel, my version of the Wheel of the Year, I should say. It's very much in line with what's here, but, I don't necessarily go into the detail that other people might go into. But we start off with Time of the Bows, so fire, which would be your wands, is Midsummer, Green Woman, Green Man, Sun of Life, World Tree. So we'll have to try and figure out what all that means. I think this is all different from where it differs from the standard tarot. Time of Vessels, which is your water. You've got Autumn Equinox, Wheel, Mirror and Seer. Then we've got Times of the Stone, so that's earth-based, that makes sense. We've got Great Bear, Hooded Man, Moon on Water and Wanderer, so that'll be interesting to see what those are. And then we've got Time of Arrows, which is air, that makes sense to me. We've got Spring Equinox, Stag, Archer and Samhain, or Shaman I should say, not Samhain. Now for me, I don't know, and I know one of the ladies that I watched about this deck before I actually purchased it she had some, she didn't fully agree with the timing. So the timing is around the outside here. So time of bows is around midsummer solstice, going from Beltane, midsummer through to Lammas, right? And then time of vessels is in the autumn. So from Lammas, autumn equinox through to Samhain, and so on and so on. So she wasn't sure whether she agreed with the actual timing of what they had in place. And I don't know what I think about that yet, but I'll have a good think about that and see whether that timing makes sense to me. And if not, I will adjust it. I know a lot of the timing for things just is all northern hemisphere based, and living in the southern hemisphere, you know, quite often it doesn't quite translate in entirety to the experiences that we have here in the southern hemisphere. So for me, I might need to readjust the timing. I think around this was one of the things that I did start to really think about once I decided that I was going to buy the deck and see where it took me. Let's just quickly move on to the actual readings or the explanations of the cards. So I've just picked this one. So number 19 is the Sun of Life. So you can see it has a picture of the card. It tells you the number, the name, the position on the wheel. So it gives you all of that information again. It gives you the description of the card, and it gives you the meaning, which is fairly, yeah, it's fairly substantial. Not too long, not too short. And we have reading points. So that may be something that you would also wanting to bring into your readings as well. And then we have these roots and branches. So the roots and branches are the creative fire, light of the land, the furnace of potential, the inner sun, the primal melting pot of matter and energy, and the heart of eternal life. So to me, that might be key phrases or key indications is probably more of what I'm getting from those. But they're like that on every page. Let's see. Page of Bows, Knight of Bows, Queen of Bows, 10 of Arrows, 8. Yep. So, and they've also got, when you get to the actual, what I would call the minor arcana cards, they've actually got, you know, indicating words as to what they may mean as well, which is interesting, which the major arcana cards don't have. And having said that, the minor arcana don't have the roots and branches as well, so that it has the keywords, the description, the meaning, and the reading points. So that's what differs between the major and the minor arcana in this particular deck. I do, as I said before, I love the artwork, absolutely adore the artwork. But let's get into the actual cards themselves. And let's see. Now the cardstock, it's okay. It's not flimsy. It's not the stiffest cards I've ever had, and I actually don't like really stiff cards. I find them very hard to shuffle. So I'm quite happy that they're not stiff. I do love the background. I have the Tree of Life. I have a glass figurine or a glass, I don't know what it really is. It's like a wall hanging, a glass wall hanging of this Tree of Life. I just love that symbolism. It means, touches something very much within me. That very much resonates with me. So we have the Wanderer, and the colours are beautiful. The artwork, again, I can't complain. It's beautiful artwork. To me, this has very much the feeling of the Fool, very much. We have the Shaman, very much the Magician. I just love him. Look at him. Isn't he magical? Just look at him. Love him. Then we have the Seer, High Priestess vibes, definitely. The Green Woman and the Green Man, So this could relate possibly to the Emperor and the Empress, but just look at the artwork. It's just divine. And there's very different imagery on the cauldrons as well. You know, like even the cauldrons are very much, female or male centered as well. Very feminine and masculine in orientation. I love it. We have the Ancestor. We have the Forest Lover. So the Ancestor to me could be maybe the Hierophant, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Then we have the Forest Lovers, which represents similar lovers. We have the Archer and we have the Stag. So this is the Archer. This is the Stag. I just love the imagery when they put these animal heads on human bodies. It feels very magical to me. We have the Hooded Man, the Hermit. We have the Wheel. We have the Woodward, or the Wood Ward, I should say. We have the Mirror. We have the Journey. So you can see in the major arcana that they differ quite, in some ways they're very similar, but they also have particular differences. So the Journey could be the Wheel, I suppose. No, we had the Wheel, didn't we? We had the Wheel. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Don't know. I have to see how that resonates. We have Balance. Oh wow, we have the Guardian. He's a bit scary, but I do like him actually. We have the Blasted Oak. That has very much tower vibes to me. We have the Pole Star, which could be the star in relation to, similar to the star. We have Moon on Water, similar to the Moon card. We have Sun of Life. That was the card that I was reading in the guidebook. We have the Great Bear, number 20. Just love it. Look at that. We have the World Tree. I actually saw in a book recently, I was reading an Ellen of the Ways book by, I can't remember the lady's name, but she mentioned that there is a world tree carving in the town or in the main city of the shire that I was born in England, in Derbyshire. So there's a carving of the world tree there, which I found very interesting. King of Arrows, Kingfisher. I just love the kingfisher, the kookaburra, you know, that family of birds. I just love them. Queen of Arrows, Swan. Knight of Arrows, Hawk. So these are all birds. Page of Arrows, Wren. Ace of Arrows, Breath of Life. Two of Arrows, Injustice. Three of Arrows, Jealousy. Four of Arrows, Rest. Five of Arrows, Frustration. So there's some crossover in the meanings that I get with the minor arcana, very much so. Six of Arrows, Transition. That makes that relates to me. Sorry, I may be going a little bit too fast for these. Seven of Arrows, Insecurity. The cards feel really matte as well. They're not shiny, which I love. I'm not a lover of the shiny cards. Eight of Arrows, Struggle. Nine of Arrows, Dedication. 10 of Arrows, Instruction. Now that's interesting. King of Bows, Adder. Queen of Bows, Hare. Knight of Bows, Fox. I love foxes. Page of Bows, Stoat. Ace of Bows, Spark of Life. Two of Bows, Decision. That's interesting. Three of Bows, Fulfillment. Four of Bows, Celebration. Five of Bows, Empowerment. Six of Bows, Abundance. Seven of Bows, Clearance. That's interesting. It's a different meaning for it. Eight of Bows, Hearthfire. Nine of Bows, Respect. 10 of Bows, Responsibility. Yep. King of Stones, Wolf. Queen of Stones, Bear, or Mama Bear. Knight of Stones, Horse. Page of Stones, Lynx. Oh, I like this. Ace of Stones, the foundation of life. Two of Stones, Challenge. Three of Stones, Creativity. Oh, look how she's becoming the tree. Love that. Four of Stones, Protection. Five of Stones, Endurance. Six of Stones, Exploitation. Interesting. What we humans do so well. Seven of Stones, Healing. Oh, I just love this. Eight of Stones, Skill. Nine of Stones, Tradition. Ten of Stones, Home. Oh, I love that card. Just look at it. One of my personal symbols is the home. I just love that. King of Vessels, Heron. Queen of Vessels, Salmon. King of Vessels, Eel. Page of Vessels, Otter. Ace of Vessels, Water of Life. Look at the imagery in there. Now that is divine. I love that. Two of Vessels, Attraction. Again, they've got different animals on human bodies. Just love that. Three of Vessels, Joy. Four of Vessels, Boredom. Five of Vessels, Ecstasy. Oh, I love this. Six of Vessels, Reunion. Just look at that beautiful imagery. That's gorgeous. Seven of Vessels, Mourning. As in mourning the dead. Eight of Vessels, Rebirth. Wow, that's a very different meaning from the traditional deck, isn't it? In a way. I can see how that actually ties in as well. I do get that. Nine of Vessels, Generosity. And 10 of Vessels, Happiness. Look at that joy overflowing there. That's just amazing. I love the imagery there. So it's going to be interesting to see how I can attune to these cards. I'm really looking forward to delving into that more earth-based wisdom and using these cards in my divination practices. As I said, the cards feel good in my hand. They're not too big. Now I must tell you that I do quite often trim my cards. I have a very small hand, and for me, dealing with most cards are too big for my hand, and I find it very hard to shuffle. So normally I would take off all the borders and then ink the sides. I like to make the cards my own. You know, it sort of attunes them to me while I'm doing the work. I may still do that with this card, although I probably will leave this bottom section in, so I may only take off 3 sides. You know, I don't want to lose the keywords on the bottom there. I find them, especially because it differs quite a lot, or can differ quite a lot from the normal traditional tarot meanings. I think I will definitely leave them in place, at least for the time being, while I'm learning the deck. But that is quite a possibility. I may take those sides off just to make that fit in my hand. I don't really care what it looks like on the back. As I said, these are working cards for me. I like to make them my own. I like to feel them in my hand, and I find, as I said, when I'm working with them and setting them up for me, that's when I really start to attune to them, and I really start to get a relationship building with the cards, where, you know, I get that feeling of connectedness to them when I'm doing that. But for those of you that, you know, shudder in horror at that thought, you obviously don't have to do that. You do whatever you will with your cards, just as I will do whatever I will with my cards. But that I do so far. I'm very impressed with this deck, very impressed, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this will take me in a different journey. I feel it's going to be a very different journey to that of the standard tarot deck and the standard tarot meanings. So very much, very happy that I've purchased this deck, and looking forward to using it. So we'll pop it all back, and I'll give you one last look. There we go. That is the Wildwood Tarot, Wherein Wisdom Resides, by Mark, Ryan and John Matthews, written with cards, illustration by Will Worthington. A good purchase, I think, for me. Thank you, everybody. I hope you found that useful. Take care. Bye.